Okay, this week I want to talk to you about the left arm and its role during the golf swing. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about it having to keep it straight in the backswing, so I want to address that first, but then also what's its role on the downswing. So come on, let's go do this. So what does the left arm do during the golf swing? It's quite a funny one really. There's a lot of misconceptions about what it does, especially in the backswing, and I want to address that today about whether it should be straight in the backswing. But the main role of the golf swing is it does create the radius of the swing, and it does create the point where we can impact. It does create a bit of speed, a bit of power, but the main role that it has, which is normally misread by a lot of amateurs, it's the wrong task to think of, is they generally feel from the top of the backswing that it's a puller. You've got to pull down with the left arm, you're going to pull it down here, and this makes it become then a handle dragger. All right, we see a lot of amateur golfers, they'll handle drag the handle through, and they'll end up doing this chicken wing, as they like to call it, or this action here where they pull the left arm up because they're trying to keep it straight. And we see a lot of amateurs do that. So I want to try and put those myths to bed. I'm going to start with the backswing first, and I'm going to teach you about what the actual role of the left arm is on the follow through, on the downswing, and I'll give you a couple of exercises that you can do to try and practice that and improve on that. The left arm in the backswing. Okay, so what's the story about this? Okay, the left arm, should it be rigidly straight? You see a lot of golfers, they tell you, especially range pros as I call them, okay, the guys that go to the range and they tell all their buddies what they should be doing. And it's normally about, oh yeah, you've got to keep your left arm straight in the backswing, okay, and throughout the swing. And that's a bit of a killer advice, that one, because what that tends to breed straight away is tension. And the last thing you need in a golf swing is tension. You don't, especially up here in the shoulders, okay, we want the shoulders to be nice and relaxed, okay. You should be able to rotate your arms, and they should be, your arms should be able to swing freely. That's as much freedom that you want in your arms when you're swinging them. So the arms have, separation from the body to a certain degree, but you should be able to swing the arms nice and free and nice and relaxed. And that's one of the things that we don't see amateurs do. They're very tight and rigid, so they'll try and take the club away very, very tight, and they're worried that they've got to maintain these triangles and so on and so forth. But the swing becomes too tight and rigid, and it's just going to basically suck all the power out of your golf swing that you could ever possibly need. But the main focus on the backswing is, you see a lot of amateurs, a lot of professionals, on the tour, where their arm is slightly bent, and you think, well, they're doing it, but how comes I'm being told I'm not to do that? What we don't want to see, though, is excessive bending. And one of the things we don't like to see, or I don't like to see, is when you're swinging back, is that your body stops turning, but the arms carry on going. That's one of the biggest ones we see. Now, you can control this, though, with your right arm. Okay, and I would tend to focus more on your right arm keeping the width in the swing, rather than the left arm keeping the width in the swing. All right, and I like to keep the right arm pushing continuously away from my body, and that's what I like to see. I don't want to tuck my right arm into the side. So as I swing to the top of the swing, one of the things that I will try to do is push my right arm away from my body here. I've done a drill before which might help you out immensely, where you address the ball, you put the club up on your shoulder, turn back and push your right arm away. That's the 4-step drill that I've done before. So you put it on the shoulder, turn your body back, push the arm away. And that just gives you that width that you need in the swing. Ideally what we're thinking of, though, is trying to get the handle to be away from us as far as possible, not the club head. All right? Some people who go for width in the swing tend to try and keep the club head as far away from them as possible, thinking that's going to create speed and power. No, because we still need to have the hinging and unhinging of the wrist to create the speed. So on the backswing, the main thought here is to keep it relaxed. My arm is very relaxed. I could let go of it and it would just hang, it would just flop down. Okay, my arm is relaxed when I'm doing this. This is going to create all the nice things that you want in transition. So as I'm going back with my arms being relaxed, I'm going to create that lagging action that we all like to see. That's going to create the power. It just times everything up properly. So it's got to be relaxed, and that's what we're really after here. Don't try and force it or make it, really try and rigidly make this straight. Some people, you've seen them put tubes down their arms here so the elbow can't bend and so on. You don't need that, okay? It's not necessary. So get that feeling of the arm staying or pushing away. And it's a relaxed motion. The more relaxed I can be and push that right arm away, the better the action's going to be. So just going to swing back and through here, okay? I can create that width by my right arm, not so much with my left arm, okay? And that's what I really want you to be thinking about. So give that a try if you're one of those ones that, you know, feel that you're bending your left arm. Do that drill. I'm going to try and embarrass myself here and do the drill. Normally I do it on a T-peg, but you can do the 4-step drill, which is going to help you if you're having trouble with width, is just set up to a ball, put it up on your shoulder, turn back, push the arms up and hit through, okay? Do it slowly though when you start. Don't just go rushing in with a driver. But yeah, do it nice and slow, nice and easy, just to get that feeling of width in the backswing and what the actual left arm does. It doesn't really do a lot, to be honest with you. It's just going along for the ride. One of the things I'd really like to see though is that for you to hit that subscribe button and also that like button really would help me out immensely. And hopefully you can go back and watch the rest of my videos and do the same for them. Anyway, thanks for watching and let's get back to the video. Okay, so what is the role of the left arm during the downswing? Okay, the left arm is actually it's a rotator. Okay, and that's what I've said at the beginning of the video. It's a rotator. It rotates in my left shoulder socket. All right, and if I have tensions in there, I can't rotate it. My left shoulder's gonna stiffen, shoulder's gonna rise up, and it's not gonna rotate. It's got to be nice and relaxed. All right, if I was to stand here and just swing my arm back and forth, my arm would probably naturally rotate anyway. All right, I don't struggle to do it. I'm not doing this. Okay, I'm not doing that. It would naturally rotate. So that's really what we're sort of after here. Now, don't confuse this though, this rotation or this turning of me rotating the forearms or the hands. All right, they stay pretty passive throughout this, especially the left hand. But if I was to stand here, and one of the best ways to find out how your left arm actually works is to take hold of the golf club and just swing the club back and forth with just your left hand. And this will teach me everything I need to know. So as I swing the club back, my wrists hinge on the way back swing, my left arm is doing its normal rotation, the club is now hinged, so the shaft of the club or the butt end of the club is pointing down to the ground. I will then release that, so I allow momentum to swing out and the left arm to swing the club down and hit the ball, and then on the way through it will then do the reverse. Okay, my shaft is again pointing down to the ground, my wrist is rehinged, it's actually cupped back on itself, and my left elbow is pointing down to the ground. So what we tend to see a lot of the chicken wingers do is they tend to have this action. I wouldn't do that if I was swinging it just one-handed. So swinging it just one-handed like so really teaches you how the left arm works. It's a rotator, and that's what I want you to think. It feels like it's rotating in my arm, in my shoulder socket. That's what I feel, all right? What I wouldn't do is stand there and do this, which we see a lot of amateurs do. They do this jetted chicken wing, all right? So that's what we tend to see. And you can sort of, I don't know, you can sort of hit shots sort of just one-handed, just swinging back and through. I'm going to embarrass myself here. I haven't got a T-peg, but just going to swing back and through, just with my left hand. I'm just allowing the club head to swing out, back out to the ball, so the momentum's going back out. My hand's not swinging at the ball, and that's one of the other things that we see a lot of amateurs do as well. They get told they've got to swing their hands at the ball itself, and this tends to push the hands out. This will then push the club behind my hands. All right, we see a lot of amateurs get caught like this. They'll what we call handle drag out towards the ball, and we don't want to see that. Ideally, my hand will work downwards and my club works outwards. But that's really what I'm after here, really. It's just to sort of swing back and swing through, just with my left hand. It looks fairly easy, but it's something that you need to practice to do. And it is fairly easy, I presume. But just allowing the club head to swing back and forth and allowing the arm to just do its job, which is to rotate and not drag. I wouldn't do this through the shot, you know, because if I went like that, well, look, I missed it, right? So I can't hit it. If I pull my elbow up and stiffen up, my left shoulder comes up, I come up, and my club head swings over the top of the ball. I have to then find a way to hit the ball. So just allowing the club to swing back and forth, I can hit the ball most of the time doing that. It's not going to go, it's going to go a reasonable distance, but not mega far. But it's just to prove a point that you can just allow the arms to just swing to do this. So that's really the whole point and premise of the golf swing, is that the left arm is a it's a rotator. So as I swing back from L position here, I release and I swing into this L position here. You can see how my elbow is pointing downwards. My left wrist is cupped back on itself, okay? And the shaft is pointing down to the ground. I've allowed it to release. This is a major, major speed producer. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? Yes, the body is important, but those that tend to sort of try and drag the club around with their body, it's not a speed producer. I can stand here and create just enough speed effortlessly. That's the key thing as well, all right? All right, I'm not quite tour average yet, but I can still create enough clubhead speed to keep me up there with most people. All right, I'm just allowing the clubhead to relax and work through. And it's really important, my hands and arms are relaxed, but my left arm is doing its job, which is a rotator. I'm not dragging the handle at the club, which is going to drop the momentum behind my hands. And from there I struggle. I'm going to have to then flip to work through. Okay, so just bear that in mind. It's a rotator, not a dragger. Okay. Honestly, it frees up the swing. I was very much a body rotator in the old days, but since finding Malaska and Malaska Golf, I've now become more of an arm swinger. My golf has become a heck of a lot easier, I can promise you. So if you can do that, I promise you, it will free up your swing immensely. But hey, so what you can do to try and get a feeling for doing this is, it's an old drill that I do, but it works pretty much most of the time, is to drop the right foot back, okay, and stagger your stance so the right toe is in line with your left heel, because this is just going to stop you from using your body too much really. And I want to keep the right hip back, and I'm just going to let you to go from an L position that you create on the backswing here to an L position on the follow through. So from the face on view, staggered stance, I'm just going to go from L to L. All right, my body's going to have very minimum use in it during the stroke. I'm going to be more hands and arms, okay, which again, people will be shuddering as the thought of that. But honestly, it works. If you stand here, stagger the stance, I'm just going to really go just L to L to start with. I'm going to swing no more than sort of arms parallel to the ground on the backswing. I'm just going to get a feeling of just L and L, okay? A lot of golfers will stop and struggle at this point here. They won't be able to create that look here, all right, where the left arm, where the hands have rehinged on themselves and the back of the left hand's facing behind me, right hand's flat, and this elbow is pointing downwards. A lot of people will struggle with that. They won't be able to recreate that position. They'll be too busy dragging the handle. But on that one, speed, right, bearing in mind I'm only doing half swing back and half swing through, L to L, I still generated 74.7 miles an hour of club head speed, all right? And I haven't added in any body rotation at all, all right? And I got 140 yards carry distance, okay? So most people can play pretty decent golf from that. So left foot back, back and through. So I'm gonna do L to L. And I'm just gonna keep that right foot down on the ground, back and through. All right, same again. I reckon that felt 77. I've got 149 yards. Okay, so pretty consistent from there, just playing with my hands and arms, all right, which apparently you shouldn't do that, become flicky and so on. So remember, that's what that is. So on the follow through, as I swing back, I'm going to get to this position here. I'm going to be releasing the club head, and I'm creating that motion where I'm allowing the left arm to work through. So that's the real key thing that I'm working on here. If you can do that, I promise you, you will improve drastically. Drill number 2, okay, this is a great way to get a feeling of correct leverage in the swing. And that's one of the key principles that we work to, is to work on leverage. All right, now a great way to feel this is a split grip drill or hockey drill. Okay, and what I'm going to do is literally hold down the handle. I'm holding down onto the shaft almost here, a bit half on, half off. So I've got a real good gap in my hands. And all I'm going to do from here is just literally get a feeling of swinging the golf club. So I don't want to hit my clubs, but swinging the golf club, swinging back. I can feel the hinge on the backswing. I can feel the right hand pulling the left hand this way, and getting that hinge here on the backswing, getting the first L down into impact. Okay, and then up here on the follow through, where I can feel the left hand being now hinged back and the right hand pulling back on it again. You can't help but do it. Okay, you wouldn't go like that naturally. Okay, you'd want the club head to release into the ball and then up and around like so. It just creates a good feeling in the swing. All right, you could, dare I say, try it off a T-peg. You could even do mini swings doing that. Okay, just to get a feeling. Now, this is also great if somebody's if somebody has the shanks as well, dare I say it. This is also a great movement because they pull the left hand in closer to the body. If their hips aren't working into the shot for a shank, but if they're staying back, this is also a great way because you wouldn't be able to drag the handle towards the ball. You wouldn't be able to hit it. So if you went from here, you wouldn't be able to hit it. Whereas you'd feel the left hand working closer to the body and into the ball. And then I can work it up. But you can actually hit shots doing this. So you can just swing back and through, just to get the feeling of how the wrists release. But I do it on a T-peg though, I wimped out there. All right. So that just gives you the feeling of how the hand should be on the follow through in the arms. And you can just try to recreate that as much as you possibly can. So just swing back and through. You can see how I'm allowing the club to release on the way through. So it's really, really important that you give that a go. It's a great drill. I can promise you all these things will help you to release the club better. You'll get more club head speed, you'll get better strikes on the ball, more control than you've ever had before, and you'll just generally hit the ball a lot better. So really, really try and give that a go if you possibly can. These drills, they work, they're multifaceted drills, to be honest with you. You can use them for numerous things, but for this instance where I'm trying to get the left arm to work correctly and rotate through the shot, this is a great drill to do, especially if somebody struggles in that area. So you can even do the split grip drill with the right foot back and combine the drills up. Okay, and then once I've got that feeling there, I can then try to create it again on the follow through and then just make a swing. All right, just keep rehearsing it, keep doing it, keep playing it over and over again. Now, the trick is when you're making any changes is to do them slowly. Do them with a club that's nice and easy to hit. Do it on a T-peg if you're worried about strike or contact, because the last thing you want to do is put yourself under the pressure of making good contact. Yeah, and just practice it. Just you know, really work hard at creating that leverage on the way through. This is something that I try to do to try and create more club head speed, because I tend to hold it back too much and try to steer it through. I'm trying to allow myself to release it more and get more club head speed. The clue's in the title, club head speed. So I'm allowing the club head to create speed, not my hands and arms. I'm trying to get the club head going faster. Okay, so back and through. I'm really trying to create more club head speed. All right, and yeah, that's all I really want you to try and work on. So that's really how a couple of drills that really help you out to try and get the feeling of this correct swing. So there you have it. That's what I think about when I'm using my left hand. Hopefully that will help you improve any thoughts that you have. Remember, we work on skills and tasks here. It's not so much about positions. These are feelings that I create during the swing. And I don't really sort of condone sort of practicing set positions as such, but just practice on getting the feeling of the club head swinging. The greatest drill that you can ever start with is just a single-handed drill. Just hitting balls just with your left hand, just swing back and swing through. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about how the left hand works. I know I've done it just recently on how the right hand does as well, but just swinging it with your right hand only really is the great way to practice doing any of these. Okay, it takes a bit of practice, takes a bit of patience, takes a bit of time, but really that honestly will teach me everything I need to know on how to swing with the left hand. So practice those drills, work on how that left hand works, allow it to release. That's the key thing. Allow the club head to pass your hands. Okay, it's not a flicking action. When all the dots and everything line up, my body's pushing back and I'm pushing away from the momentum of the club. Everything will line up beautifully through impact. Okay, it's not going to be like you're flicking too early, but you're allowing the weight of the club head to swing past your hands. Without doing that, you can't create speed. All right, and that's really what we're after. We're allowing the club head to pass through. So anyway, thank you for watching. please like and subscribe and share it with your friends, and hopefully I'll catch you at the next one.